Hello and welcome back to the Premier League channel. It's England selection time. I've got Ellis and Jacq with me, and we're going to get into the England selection given the internationals just happened. One of the last internationals before the World Cup. We'll obviously have the summer and October and November one, but then the World Cup will be coming around in December. So we think it's the right time to pick our England team at the moment. What players we think are going to go, what players we think have no chance. And yeah, anything you boys want to say before we start off?
Hello.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Right. Awesome. Sick. So what we're going to do first is I organised with the boys beforehand some players that we don't think are going to have any sort of chance of coming into this 11. So, quickly round off some no chances. Danny Ings, Gordon, Chabot, Lascelles, Godfrey, what's his name? Barkley, Richards, Maddison, Elliott, Jones, Skip, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Ryan Sessegnon, Tanganga, Lascelles.
I don't know if you noticed that you called
Callum Wilson. Yeah, I'm a racist. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Ellis, Jacob Ramsey, Harvey Elliott, Maitland-Niles, James Milner, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It's because they're both wearing Newcastle shirts. That's why. Bamford, Lingard,
Teacher employees might see this.
Telly Alley. And they'll understand that they were both wearing Newcastle shirts.
You know what they say? All Newcastle players look the same.
Isn't that racist? I don't know. Right. So now, boys, we've got two players that we thought were in some way in contention to get this 11. So let's start off with some players that we all thought was going to go. Pickford's going, right? I don't think there's any debate on that.
Yeah, he's going to be number one.
He's going to be number one.
Definitely.
He's
Unless Ramsdale storms into the team, but I can't see him drop in.
Yeah. Speaking of which, where is Ramsdale? When we find Ramsdale, he will also be going. I don't think there's really any debate there that Ramsdale will also be going. He's exceptional for Arsenal this season. And if Pickford wasn't already first choice, then I think he would actually have a chance of being number one. But at this current moment, I do not. Where the hell is he? I can't find him.
Did you include him?
There he is. Yeah. I don't think he's starting 11, but he's in the squad for definite. I don't think that's up for debate really in any sense. As for the other goalie, I think it'll be fairly interesting. I think we've all put Nick Pope in the little squad that I asked you to create before this. But I think Nick Pope currently, but depending on what happens in the summer, Burnley could get relegated. He can play in the Championship. Johnston could make a move. Forster could still be within contention. So at the moment, Pope's definitely in the squad. But Forster and Johnston, I can both see being in it, depending on what would happen to
up a little bit.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
I'm immediately. I need to block out West Brom players, so that's just from my eyesight. But I think that makes sense for the goalies at the moment. I don't think these two are far away in Forster and Johnston, but I think because Burnley is still in the Premier League, Pope is still playing Premier League football, that will work in his favour. I assume we think Shaw and Chilwell are going to be the two left backs, but the issue is, who do you think starts, Jacq? Shaw or Chilwell?
I would probably say Shaw, purely because I think when it comes to tournament selection, I think Southgate does like to go with players he's gone with before, and I think even though Shaw's had to ride a really crappy campaign with United, he's still been consistently starting. He's pulled out a few good performances here and there. I think he will be, unless something dramatic happens between now and then, I think he will be signed Shaw.
Okay, so
I think it depends on the start of next season, to the first half of next season before the World Cup when Chilwell's back. It depends which player is most informed, because I think they're relatively on even footing. And when it comes to favouritism, obviously Shaw's played most of the Euros, because I think was Chilwell injured back then as well. But it'll be close. But yeah, probably Shaw at the moment is first choice.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think if two left backs is probably enough, we're not going to bring a second one. But right backs, potentially.
I mean, to be fair, Southgate does have a good knack of including far too many wing backs than he should.
Yes, but that's right backs, not left backs. So I think we'll be fine on that end. Right, but let's move over to right backs then. Trent starting, really. If Trent's fit, Trent's starting, I would think.
Yeah.
I know Southgate has preference for other right backs, but in our in my mind, Trent's the best right back in the world. At least one of the best right backs in the world. And I don't think you can't afford to at least bring him, if not start him. In my book, he's starting.
Yeah, that seems fair to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Who would be your second choice right backs? I think this is a bit more interesting between potentially Reece James and Kyle Walker. Obviously, Lamptey, Trippier, Wan-Bissaka, who never even gets a look in for England. Just there's so many good options at right back, and I think it's interesting to see who would be that second choice. I personally went Kyle Walker, but I think you two might have gone towards Reece James.
I think he's going to take both for backup right back. So put them both like he did in the Euros. Have Trent, James, and Walker as.
I don't think Southgate doesn't play Walker as a right back though, does he?
It depends. He does sometimes. But also he plays him as like a right centre back.
If Walker starts, Walker tends to be a right-sided centre back with Trent or James as the wing back.
I think not really, because I think I believe the Germany game, Kyle Walker played right back, and that was in a 4 because he's a better defensive right back than I think Reece James and Trent Alexander-Arnold does. I think Trent's a brilliant attacking fullback, and if we're trying to pick down smaller teams are going to sit deep, he's probably perfect for that. Reece James is good at both, but not necessarily as good as Trent as attacking and Kyle Walker defending. But Kyle Walker's a really good defender for fullback positions. I just think it makes sense, but we'll have to have a debate about this because I think I've bought a few more centre backs than that. I've bought 2 right backs, not that. But so we'll have to make a little bit of a debate here. But as we go into centre backs, who is a guaranteed centre back starter? Would you say John Stones is?
I think that John Stones and Harry Maguire are the guaranteed starters, even though I probably wouldn't take either of them at the moment.
I would take. Yeah. I took Stones, not Maguire. I think Maguire awful.
I did as well, but I think he'll still go. Like,
this is ours. This is our squad.
This is the reason I think Shaw will be starting, because he likes those players that have been there before. Even though in friendlies he loves to experiment and give players caps, but when it comes to those main competitions, he doesn't tend to deviate from a set script that much unless he really has to. I mean the amount of pressure there was under to include Grealish, and he finally succumbed, but for a long time he wouldn't deviate from core players. I wouldn't take Maguire at all. He probably goes, but I think based on the last 12-18 months, I don't think he deserves to go. I think there are players who have worked harder in better teams, who are probably lower in the table than Man United are right now, who deserve to go. I think Maguire has lost his right to be a England mainstay.
Ellis, but given this is not us thinking who is going to go, who Southgate is going to bring, it's our 23-man squad. We're manager. We're combined trio manager of England. Would you bring Maguire?
I don't know, because I think he's similar to Pickford in the fact that Maguire for Man United is very different from Maguire for England. And I don't think has he really done anything wrong for England, Maguire? He's always been great. He was good in the Euros. Him and Stones were really good in defence. We hardly conceded a goal, I don't think, in the entire tournament. So I'd still take him. I've changed my mind from what I said earlier.
I don't think he should be selected based on he's all right for England, because it's gatekeeping the squad from other players who are fighting to be in there. There are centre backs who are kind of up and coming who deserve the chance to be in the England squad, but we're denying them that place because we're kind of banking on Maguire still putting out a good game for England, even though he's been woeful for Man United.
John Stones is back in the Man City lineup now as well. He is starting again. I think that will work in his favour if he is playing, and I think he's a guaranteed starter if he does play, given the centre-backs in front of him are just an incredible talent.
Yeah,
I think this is another guaranteed one. It's not a starter, but I think a player to have in the squad. Cody's been perfect as a leader, as a thing, and I obviously Wolves fan here talking whatever. He's still a very good player to have, a player who doesn't mind not playing, and he's a great personality and a great leader to have around the camp.
I think that's a similar argument for why Mings should go as well. And I know you often kind of give us a bit of a ribbing in our little chat about Mings, because he does have an error in him, and as a Villa fan, I will concede that he does have errors, but I think when he does make errors, those are highlighted so much in comparison to the good work he does, and I think there are a lot of good things that he does that aren't picked upon by non-Villa fans, and I think there is a bit of a anti-Mings.
Yeah.
No, not saying from you, because I know with you it's just a gentle ribbing, but I think there is a genuine anti-Mings.
Excuse me.
Well,
not like that. And there is a genuine camp of people who are very much anti-Mings, and they see his mistakes, and they kind of use that to back up their argument. But it's very much it's being very selective with your evidence.
Jacq, what?
If you saw the good things Mings does, and like I say, in the same way as being a good leader in the squad, I think that's exactly the reason Cody should be there. Except Cody is much less error prone and gets much less stick for it.
I would have said last England call up. I said the same about Mings and Cody. They both have an error in them. Cody sort of this season has completely taken that out. He's been very consistent, very just on point. And I believe he deserves to be there more than last time. Mings, and I don't watch him every week like you lot do, but I still know he has a mistake in him, and that is just a horrible thing to have in tournament football when one mistake costs you the entire thing. It's just not a comfortable thing to have, and especially last time where we were devoid of options. Now, and I'll move these up to squad just so we can have a debate with them. We have Kilman.
I knew you were looking for him straight away.
It was actually the first.
Where's the other Wolves player?
It was actually the first person I saw out of the people that I want to discuss. But Tomori, Ben White, Maximilian Kilman. Those are decent centre-back options to have. Younger, more consistent, and now we're in the issue that there are too many centre-backs in this team. If you added Maguire to this, we would have, 7? I think that's 6 in the squad, and then John Stones up there. It's one of the reasons I didn't want to bring Harry Maguire when you have all these players in good form. It's the reason I didn't bring Mings in my squad, was that there are just these players here, and still we have to probably get rid of one.
I no offense, Sam. I don't think Hillman's going to go. Not with White and Tomori probably. Because White's doing really well this season. Arsenal are probably maybe going to get Champions League again. And he's been in the squad. He's in the squad this time. He's been in the squad before. He went to the Euros. I don't think he's done anything wrong to put Kilman ahead of him or anyone new ahead of him. Really,
and I think
and then Tomori should be in the squad as well. I think, but
the thing is, I think there's a bit
of
a stigma from Southgate towards players who don't play in the Premier League, because Tomori is a starting centre back for the team that are top of Serie A. So if that was Man City, then there was like John Stones, who is starting but probably more consistent starter at the top of the league, he'd obviously go. But because it's Serie A, there's a bit of a stigma there. There's a bit of, because it's not the Premier League and you wouldn't watch him every week. I think Tomori should be there regardless, and I think he should be there more than Kilman, and that's a big thing to say. But if you're at the top of the league in a great team playing in Europe, surely you deserve to go. But weirdly, he's not in the squad to even be had a look at. Ben White, I think, is also a decent option. Kilman, I would put in instead of Mings, but depending on where we go, we'll have a debate at the end, because obviously it depends how many midfielders and strikers we bring in. There are a few more defenders here, but we'll move them into no chance when I can recognise them and the list gets a bit smaller. But
who are we putting in the starting lineup alongside?
Alongside. I think I'd go Tomori, but I think you go White.
Yeah, probably put White in.
I would. Yeah, I completely empathise with the argument that there is a bias towards non-domestic England players. And I think Jude Bellingham, and I'm sure we'll get onto him in a bit, has very much been the recipient of this, considering that he's been starting and playing very, very well for a Dortmund side who are of a much higher standard than a lot of the England players that make the starting 11. And I think after the World Cup, Tomori will be a player who will be really staking a claim for that starting 11 consistently. But I think I think with the upturn of fortunes for Arsenal in recent times, I think it'll probably be Ben White that starts alongside John Stones.
Right, continuity error. I moved the things so we could have a better image of the thing, but now we're going to image the players in the graph.
To have a better image of the thing.
Yes.
That was technical vocab that was there, Sam.
I moved everything so we could see the players on the table better. But moving on to midfielders, we'll just go for the guaranteed people that we definitely know are going to be in and definitely know are going to be starting. Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Just easing a start in that pivot in midfield. If it's a double pivot, if it's a midfield free, who knows? But he's definitely in there because he's just an exceptional player. And
I think he's the only nailed-on starter really in the midfield.
Yeah.
There's so much talent around it. There's so many different options. You got Henderson, you got Phillips, you got I guess Mount as a more attacking option.
I'd argue there's a player I would start every time because I just think he's an exceptional player, and that would have been Bellingham, who I just think would be exceptional.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought I was looking out for another Wolves player in there. So there's one player who's just so good, so far above the rest.
Morgan Gibbs White.
Of course, recent England includee Ruben Neves.
Hey, he's injured at the moment, so I wouldn't get in.
Oh yeah. Of course, he'd have been in the list if not.
Oh, he can walk into this England side. Any other midfielders that you think are nailed on or are definitely going?
Calvin Phillips. I know he's been injured for a lot of this season, but he was so good at the Euros and it's been so good for Leeds.
And next season will be so good for Villa.
Yeah, or wherever he goes to when Leeds go down.
Jacq, who's the player you think should be guaranteed in the England squad?
Gallagher.
Okay.
You think he's guaranteed in the squad?
I wouldn't guarantee him in the squad.
Okay, guaranteed.
You mean you take him over Mount, Ward-Prowse? Who else have we got in there? Henderson.
Well, Henderson's in my squad to be fair, but I don't know if he goes. I'm not sure if Henderson goes anymore. I included Henderson, but I'm not sure if Henderson goes now. I think Henderson's kind of coming towards the end of his.
I mean, this could be Henderson's last tournament, but I think he definitely goes. I would put Conor Gallagher in pushing for a place because he is sort of on the fringe. He's in the squad this time. He's having a great season at Palace. He could make a big move in the summer or even push into that Chelsea team next season. So he could well be in the squad, but I don't think he's a definite.
Foden?
Foden I put as an attacker, but I can obviously see him as a midfielder as well. I think he's definitely going regardless. I think he's starting 11.
Yeah. I'm not sure he should be based on this season, but yeah, I can.
I would definitely say it. I think he's just an exceptional player, and I think he's probably the best midfielder. I'd take him over Mount. That's probably controversial.
Yeah, I was going to say I've not included Mount on my list to be fair, though. But I think perhaps I should have.
He's Southgate's boy, but I didn't include him either.
Yeah.
I didn't include him either. He probably is going, but I wouldn't necessarily put him straight in. I think there are better options.
In my 23 list, I had 6 midfielders. I had Phillips, Henderson, Foden, Rice, Bellingham, and Gallagher.
Moving some more players to no chance because Dean Henderson, I don't think was going in any.
No, definitely not.
When he's back up, Eric Dyer, decent for Spurs this season. I still don't think he goes because the centre back situation is so mental. Livermonte, now we discussed centre backs. I don't think has a chance of getting in.
Livramento,
sorry. Conser, no chance. Would you say, or would you want to say pushing for a place?
He should be pushing for a place, but he won't be.
Okay.
I think Cons is going to be the next Grealish in terms of there's going to be especially from the Villa camp, there's going to be a big uproar as to why he's not been included. And I've got a funny feeling that I've read on Conser that Portugal are eyeing him up for a call up.
Yeah.
Because he has Portuguese family, I think.
That'd be interesting. That'd be very interesting. Is Portugal very slim for centre backs as well? I actually think because I think they had Jose Fonte,
Fonte's not been around for years, has he?
Well, I think he was still playing till recently.
I think he did play in the Euros.
I mean, he's like 37 or 38, but I still think he was playing for Portugal.
Yeah.
Pepe's obviously getting on. Ruben Semedo.
Ruben Diaz.
Ruben Diaz obviously is the thing, but probably the person partner with him. But yeah, that seems like a decent call for him, especially when Zaha's obviously had great success moving to Ivory Coast and a few other players.
Yeah.
As for moving as well, fullbacks I think we sorted, and Walker Peters, Wan-Bissaka. The issue with them is that
Wan-Bissaka won't make it.
Wan-Bissaka won't make it, and I don't think Walker Peters will either, because the debate is Trent, Walker, James. It's not. They're not going to get into that based on this.
Hasn't Wan-Bissaka been touted for a call-up for a different nation?
It is. It's always been. That's been like that for the last few years, but it's just not ever materialised. Trippier, I think, could go because I think Southgate loves him and he's playing the Premier League now, so there's more intentions on him.
I'd put him in pushing. No, I wouldn't put him in squad.
I would as well. Joe Willock, no chance.
No chance.
Joe Gomez, no chance. Creswell, no chance. The left back issue, I think we've already sorted.
I think he's got a chance.
Do you actually think he's got a chance?
West Ham have been brilliant this season. He's been one of their better players. But I don't know. There's been so much going on. But
West Ham.
Yeah.
I said Joe Willock.
You said Aaron Creswell.
Oh yeah, I said Aaron Creswell as well. I put Joe Willock in, but while you were talking, sorry. But I think left back's already sorted. And I don't really think that if you're going to bring someone other than Chilwell and Shaw, you bring someone younger like Mitchell. I just think that makes far more sense. Really.
That's fair.
Yeah. Hudson-Odoi, I think there's too many options in attack, and I don't think he really has a chance with it. Who else? Tarkowski. Again, the centre-back issue, I think we've already chosen that. Adam Webster, same.
He doesn't.
Don't need
Lamptey makes it.
Harry Kane, we're putting the starting 11 immediately because we didn't put him there already. Then the players we've got left.
I think if I was Tarek looking into my family tree trying to find eligibility for any other nation.
Yeah,
that's wrong with Lamptey. He's really good, but there's just too many good right backs for England.
I mean, to be fair, Lamptey's still very young, isn't he? He could make like a big money move in a couple of years' time, become a starting right back for another club, and then really stake his claim. You know, it's not like in a couple of years Lamptey's going to be in his 30s and he won't, and it'll be too little, too late. He's still got a very long time left.
Grealish.
I think Grealish, he's not had a great season, has he? And it depends whether Southgate kind of goes on seasonal or kind of sticking to those core players. I think based off this season, I'd say he's probably pushing for a place as opposed to being a guaranteed squad member.
Not to bring the most expensive English player in history. I think there's not.
Yeah, but look at this compared to when he was playing the Villa and compared to Man City. Guardiola has already kind of publicly not lambasted him. Basically said that he needs to be careful about where he gets up to in his private life. Which I think I said this. I've said this recently that at Villa he was very much given a. It wasn't. I don't think it was made to seem that way publicly, but I think he was very much given a clean slate every time he did something naughty because it always made the papers. But I think him and Phil Foden got up to something, and the press reported on it, and Guardiola said that they need to be careful about their behaviour. And I think that was kind of a bit of a,
I think that, but also I think that Grealish is probably one of the few players that I think can come off a bench for England and change the game,
make the team better.
Change the game.
Make the game.
Well, because that's exactly what he did at the Euros. Yeah,
I think it's just a no-brainer to bring him, even because I think his skill set's so unique to him that I think even as a bench option would be an incredible bench option to have.
I mean, I would say, as we're recording now, the England Ivory Coast games on. Before we started this recording, I was like, I'm really enjoying watching Grealish in this side where he's got room to run into, and he's just sort of. He's not as restricted as Man City make him. He's just sort of doing what he wants.
He doesn't. And I think were we having this conversation the other night about Grealish about saying that I don't think that move suited him at all.
I think we're wasting time. We need to move on.
The Sterling starting 11.
Sterling's
exceptional for England, and I think even when his form drops from Man City, he is still exceptional for England, and I would never not put him in that starting 11. Same as my last starting 11 person, Saka.
putting Saka in the starting 11.
So-
I think Saka in the starting 11, potentially
So
a
are we going
midfield.
for are we going for a 4-3-3
4-3-3.
or a 4-2-3-1? A 4-3-3 with
It can be either. It can be either. So obviously,
with Foden playing as a
the more advanced of the midfielders.
a more progressive midfielder than the other two. With
That was mine, and we can argue at the end whether you change any of the squad to be in the starting 11. But let's keep that at the starting 11 now till we get rid of through all the other players that we think have a chance of the squad. Rashford pushing for place.
Pushing.
I'd say pushing. Yeah, I think based off this season, he's not. I think that there's something wrong with. And there's some kind of mental block because we don't need to debate whether or not he has the ability because we know he has the ability. We've seen it before. There's something, and it happens to it's happened to players before. It'll happen to players again where their ability to just be consistent and their ability to actually show how good they are stops, and something needs to change.
So other people who I think Sancho's pushing for a chance, maybe even no chance, but I think he's still within the conversation because he has that England experience. Gay and Tyrone Mitchell.
I think they're both pushing for a place.
I think they're pushing for a place, but I think it's too early for them. I really think it's too early for them. I think next Euros, next World Cup, they will be, but I think it's too early for them. Calvert-Lewin, I think will push, but I don't think he's there.
I'd think he's got no chance. If that his form this season, Everton's form.
I think no chance. I think no chance too for Calvert-Lewin.
Okay, so moving on, Ward-Prowse I think is pushing for a place, but I don't think he should be in the squad. But
I do as well.
We'll leave that for debate at the end when we try and figure out the 23 and try and jig it out. Lamptey, again, a lot of right backs. I just think he has no chance really to get any chance in this squad. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Bowen is pushing and probably should be in the squad based on form, but there's so many options.
Yeah.
Smith Rowe.
I was going to say Bowen made my 23.
Yeah, Smith Rowe's the same. And then we're on to the backup for Harry Kane. And I think these three options are good. I went with Tammy Abraham. 15 goals in Serie A. More than Ivan Toney and Watkins have in Premier League. He's doing well for Roma. And I just think he's the obvious option as someone who will offer something different to Harry Kane. He's 6'5". He can put his weight about quite a bit. I just think...
Well, Harry Kane's not exactly small.
Yeah, I know, but Tammy Abraham's got 6'5", massive. He's got something that no other striker really has, and I think to bring him on against tired centre backs and just can absolutely
that's
bullying
the same
them
as
out.
he's sort of similar to Tony, I guess. Would you put Tony's doing well? I guess, but if you were saying that's very different from Kane, I think Watkins against tired centre backs definitely he doesn't stop running. But yeah, I initially forgot about Abraham. I put Watkins in the squad as a backup, but then Abraham, he's doing really well. So yeah, I am between Watkins and Abraham.
Okay.
Could you take both? Is there room in the squad for that? I don't know.
No, we're now at 23.
We got a 23. We got what? I don't think is this 23. I'm not sure if this is actually 23 yet. This is 22.
And Grealish.
Where's Grealish?
Who is in squad?
Grealish is the second row of the squad.
Oh yeah, this is 20. This is it is 23. This is a 23-man squad.
Yeah,
we actually perfectly come on it. Brilliant.
I would argue that the squad right now does not have enough depth out wide. Because I'm assuming Watkins is intended to play centrally.
Okay.
We only really have Grealish as a wide player.
Yeah, and I wouldn't bring two strikers, so we really have to make a choice on Watkins or Abraham.
I don't think Saka starts though. I don't think that happens. No,
Who in his place? Who in his place?
I do. I think Saka starts.
I think Saka starts as well.
I don't. I think there's a three in midfield. I think it's Rice, Bellingham, and Phillips, and then you have Foden and Sterling and Kane.
So just swapping them over. That makes sense. I think we need to make a choice between Abraham and Watkins. I will go Abraham.
I think Saka starts over Foden right now.
Really?
I think
based on this season, and if that is what we are basing it on, then I'd say Saka has had a much better season than Foden.
If we're basing it on this season, we might as well start Bowen.
Yeah,
he's been the best.
Or Smith Rowe. Like Smith Rowe's also been really good for us.
I was gonna say Smith Rowe made my 23.
So's Gallagher. I just there's
Yeah.
We have to find the right mixture of this.
We're too good.
We can't have three strikers. We have to have one. We have to have Harry Kane and a backup. I'm going Abraham as my backup. Are you going Watkins?
I'm happy with either. Yeah.
Okay, Jacq.
I'd like Watkins to go because of Villa, but
so
Abraham's ex-Villa. So
you got Watkins. Jacq.
I would argue we have too much depth right now in the wing back position. We have 3 right wing backs, and I think we can sacrifice one of those wing backs in order to accommodate another.
Okay, so if we're saying Trent, we got to make a choice here. We can't just go, oh, it's a different part of this thing. Carl Walker. I'm going with Carl Walker. Jacq, Walker or Reece James?
Right now we've Reece James.
Reece James.
Okay, Carl Walker's out.
Because I was going to say right now we've only got one we've only got one rotational centre mid.
Have we?
And if
Henderson. Yeah, we do. Christ.
Is Mount not in there? God, picking a squad's hard. I understand why Southgate has so much trouble now.
There's so many options. I would also put Ward-Prowse in there. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'd put Ward-Prowse in
over Henderson or Mount.
But now we're at 24.
Well, I wouldn't take Mount, but he's gonna go because he's Southgate's. Oh.
It's not about Southgate. It's about us.
Take Mount out. Take Mount out.
Okay. That's the squad.
See, I think if we're basing it on this season, I think Gallagher deserves to go more than Ward-Prowse.
We're not basing it on this season. We're basing it on who we want to
take.
Also,
also, Mount and Ward-Prowse are completely different, and really you got to look at holding midfielders where we need 2 potential backups. I still don't think we need Watford and Tammy Abraham.
Watford?
Watkins.
Well, to be fair with Watkins can play as a wide player, and I think that's because I think before it was either Watkins or Tony, and I think that's where Watkins has the advantage over Tony is the fact that he can play as a left winger as well, and I think that kind of enables him to not only be a striker backup but be a winger backup as well. And I don't think Tony has that in his armory. I think Tony is much more of a striker who, I don't think he plays out wide. I think Watkins has a lot more.
It's about Abraham. We need Abraham or Watkins. Stop bringing Tony into it.
Both. We're having both, and the video's ending here because it's gone on for too long.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. I think we can include both.
Oh my god. I think there's a hole in this. I think we've got 2 little midfielders.
No, we've got no little midfielders. They're all quite big.
All right. Hey. All right. So we'll leave it there. This is a horrible way to do this. We should have probably done it a better way. But that is our 23-man squad. Yeah. So if you enjoyed that hodgepodge of a fucking video, subscribe for more. And we'll see you later.